In this video, talk about sun cycle, dropping the zodiac sign, bad, like this. Just look at it. What is, I mean, can we bring? What's the book for? Right off the bat, water element cycle, and acknowledge fire element. It's always, it's always like you said, water. Air. Welcome in. Zodiac signs comment. You're the first two sets number. Cosmic Alchemist Show. Friday after the live begins. Shall we? Do it. Let's do it. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Zodiac signs in the house. Let's turn up a little bit. Up a little bit. Go through. Hey. Having a wonderful day. Let's go and move it to chat back here. Move, please. Move. Who's first? Who is first? Sun in Pisces. This is the symbol of Pisces. Moon in Aries. This is the symbol of Aries. The rising sign is currently Taurus. For those that are on the east coast of the United States. Taurus is a sign that symbolizes values and earth sign, grounded, structured, has some of the attributes of Virgo in its symbolism. Taurus is about stability as well as methodical stability, routine. Stability comes through routines. Notice that connection there. When you have a routine, you get a pattern going, it brings a sense of stability in the connection that one can value. Also, Taurus also includes Capricorn, has some of the Capricornic? I don't know if that's a phrase right, but it is. Capricorn is also found in stability, structure, Capricorn, structured routines bring about a valuing system. That's sort. Just my perspective, just the perspective of the character traits of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn while Taurus was rising. Welcome in. Zodiac signs in the comments. We'll incorporate your zodiac sign into today's symbolism. Oh, pardon me. In today's symbolism. Let's do that. So those are the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm talking about the earth signs because Taurus is rising at the time right now if you're in the east coast of the United States. If you're in California, Aries might be rising still. If you're in, that would be back. If you're in London, maybe it's 5 hours. That would be 5, 3, maybe Gemini or Cancer. We'll get into that. But what I titled this video is the sun in Pisces and the moon in Aries. Sit with it. Do you sit with it? Is that what I said? Do you sit with it? Or do you act on it? Sit with it would be Pisces. Pisces is the zodiacal sign that can be interpreted as the solitude, symbolizes quietude, solitude, and even if you're in a group of people, perhaps it could symbolize the internal dialogue, the thing, fitting of the story, an observation of one's internal emotions and feelings, sitting with it. Hmm. Or do I act on it? Aries, tying in the two natures of the lights, the lights in the sky, firmament for some, heavens for others. Welcome in. Can you hear the music? Is the music too loud? If it is, there's nothing we can do about it. But I just would like to know for future videos. And so to sit with it, Pisces, and acting on it, Aries, or feeling it, Pisces, and then being motivated by it, it's a wave. Is the dissolving of situation into an initiating action, if you will. Are you with me? Yes in the comments if you're with me. No in the comments if you're not with me. Welcome in. You can put your zodiac sign in the comments if you'd like. I'll incorporate it in for today's transit if you'd like. Questions are welcome on this one. If Aries move without Pisces, action can be reactive. Reactive. If Pisces feels without Aries, feelings may drift into avoidance. Maybe possible. Zodiac signs in the comments. Aquarius here. This is Aquarius. Notice how after the zodiac signs, Aquarius and Pisces always find this order. Aquarius and then Pisces. If you were to go back, we would find Capricorn is always before Aquarius, denoted by the Tropic of Capricorn, or the beginning of winter, and symbolically as the time where the days are short. and the nights are long, denoting reflection, a time of reflection. But I want to add in this mix of Pisces and Aries for you here as it happy belated birthday for one. For two, a renewal of sorts, renewal through knowledge, possibly, the knowing who you are, acknowledging some of the changes that have been occurring in your life, a slow and subtle shift and transformation of the mindset, possibly. Also, knowledge and awareness of what you're motivated by and what you're not motivated by, possibly. Now that the sun has ingressed into Pisces 1 degree in the next state, one then two, first house, then second house, then it's the value. Then it's the value of oneself, believing in yourself, possibly. Zodiac signs in the comments. Would love to see the zodiac sign in the comments. Appreciate you in all the comments. Thank you so much. So the sun in Pisces is the values, your wealth. Notice how over the course of the past 2 years, and what you've learned over the course of the past 2 years in regards to potentially finding stability with how you value yourself, your pocket, your credit, maybe a little more serious about what you value, possibly. This next 28 days, 29, 28 days is the time to reflect on this thing, fitting with that. So it's processing that, still fresh. The Saturn is just left Pisces, what I'm speaking about. The moon is currently in Aries now. In the thumbnail, I said sit with it, Pisces, or act on it. Maybe an action, seriousness, with how you process thoughts and how you situate your mind as you prepare for different things. Taking action and speaking up for yourself. Courage, courageousness. Zodiac signs in the comments. Thank you so much. Cosmic Goddess, thank you so much for putting your zodiac sign in the comments. Who is next? Did that resonate with you, Cosmic Goddess? Let me know. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Zodiac signs in the comments. Do you sit with it or do you act on it? When it comes to the comments, before you comment, do you sit with it? Should I say this? Or do you act on it? Zodiac signs in the comments. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. I appreciate all of you. And for those of you have who are believers, this is your month. This is your month to shine. If any month of all the months, there was a month that was set aside for belief systems, I would say this is it. From February 18th to March 21st. Not for nothing. It symbolizes a purification process. It symbolizes the end and the dissolving of the year into the newness as you prepare for your Easter egg hunt and the Passover and stuff. The rest of it, I get it, right? When we look at these events, I was recognizing symbolically how there's a practice that's occurring now with it's called Lent. Lent. Fascinating. I'm not a Lent practitioner. I'm not a practitioner of Lent. I'm putting crosses on my head with Ash. Ash Wednesday, Lent, combination of these two things I recognize. I don't know if that Ash thing is every Wednesday. That's interesting in itself. But Lent, how it's very, the dates vary. But I notice how this year it falls on the day that the sun ingress into Pisces. And it's a time of fasting and seeking soul searching within, soul searching of the innermost part of the self. Just sitting with it, not for nothing. Symbolic, symbolic. And it's also symboled as a fish. The symbol for Lent is a fish. And I was like, wow, how does that line up? Fascinating thing. Fascinating. Zodiac signs in the comments. Who's next? It's beautiful. What else do we have here? We have so we have the sun in Pisces, we have the moon in Aries, and so those are two layers of interpretation with the light. Look at calendar. Another way to look at a calendar, a calendar of sun, not in a linear sense, but in a circular sense. And there's other symbolism, subsections, if you will. Like for example, sun in Pisces, moon in Aries, that could be one layer. And then looking at Pisces a little closer at the planetary energy, planets that rule Pisces adds a little bit more insight. For example, Pisces is ruled by the planet Jupiter. Pisces is ruled also by the planet Neptune. So it's almost like the sun in Pisces has an additional energy with it that it carries in regards to our drive, potentially, and emotional intelligence. Aries and Cancer play a role in this sitting or this meditating or contemplating energy. Fascinating to me. So for Aquarius, with the sun and Pisces, it points to values and how you can be inspired through your own work potentially and being encouraged emotionally, how knowing your worth actually is so supportive. It supports you dearly. The moon in Aries, there's a subsection to it. Not only does it point to assertive action, impulse, we have a subsection by looking at the ruler of Aries, which is Mars. Mars is currently in Aquarius at 22 degrees. So there's a connection between these two zodiacal signs, Aquarius and Aries. Aquarius is an air sign, Aries is a fire sign, and they kind of feed one another. So the moon in Aries is kind of looking at Mars and Aquarius, and it can be interpreted as taking action based on what it is that we know. So Aquarius, it would be mindset, it would be um, affirmations, it could be ways of speech patterns, how you communicate to others, how you think about yourself, the repetition, the pattern, the routine that you have in your mind of what conversations you're having with yourself, if you will. Welcome to Zodiac Signs in the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the subscription. If you're into symbolism and the interpretation of symbolism, you come to the perfect place. Questions, welcome. Interpreting and holding space. Welcome in. Horoscope and symbolic archetypal interpretation as well. Zodiac signs in the comments. Interpreting the transits, which are where the planets are currently situated in this solar system. Going over Sun in Pisces, Moon in Aries, and what potential energy is to come from these placements energetically. These are current placements for those that are in the East Coast of the United States. Pisces here in the 11th house, Aries in the 12th, Taurus on the ascendant, Gemini in the second house, Cancer in the third, Leo on the fourth house cusp, Virgo in the fifth, Libra in the sixth, Scorpio on the seventh, Sagittarius on the eighth, Capricorn on the North, Aquarius in the 10th house, and at the top of the sky, the midheavens, and Pisces again here. And so the focus is with Pisces and Aries, water and fire, mutable and cardinal. And it can be interpreted many different ways to interpret it, many different ways to interpret it. It becomes to be personal when you look at or contrast where the sun was when you were born, or even your chart, if you know your rising signs. There's so much there that you can extract from it and interpret. If and in that you have mind for it. Pluto in Aquarius here, Mars in Aquarius. Just recently, the sun just recently shifted into Pisces. You got a bunch of new things happening with the planets as they shifted into new signs. North Node in Pisces, Venus currently in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, Saturn just recently moved into Aries, Neptune just recently moved into Aries. The moon is in Aries at 11 degrees, almost the halfway point. 15 degrees is about the halfway point. Chiron, the symbol that can be interpreted as the healer or the wounded. Uranus at the end of Taurus. It was in Gemini, but it went retrograde back into Taurus, and now it's back direct again, and it's on its way towards Gemini. It'll be there around May, potentially impacting Taurian for those born between April 21st and May 21st. Nothing in Gemini right now, but like I said, Uranus is approaching. Jupiter in Cancer, retrograde in the middle of it, in the middle of Cancer. South Node in Virgo, and that's what we have here. We are not in Pisces. We are not in Pisces, but the sun is, it appears to be from our vantage point on Earth, from Earth looking towards the sun. The backdrop is the constellation of Pisces, or the space that encompasses Pisces tropically. Welcome in if you just got here. Much peace and greetings to all. Zodiac signs in the comments. Perfect time to pull your chart out, have a look, and seeing how the sun and the moon could potentially impact your chart and essentially your life. Sit with it or take action, or sit with it, then take action. It's interesting how the water signs and the earth signs are introspective signs. Not for nothing, and for something at the same time. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, more on the internal side. Because these are the water signs deal with emotions and feelings symbolically. Internal. Also, Taurus, uh, Virgo, and Capricorn are also internal signs, introspective signs. So just by the sun being in Pisces, it activates the earth and water signs. They're a family of sorts. And so there's a shining of light on the inner content of each one of us. The Pisces. Pisces is said to be associated with the subconscious. And so maybe perhaps it's the time of taking inventory there. You also know, not too much, just enough, just enough. It may feel like it's too much, but it's interesting. Have you, because Pisces is a water sign, my question to you is knowing that there's water and earth and they're both have an affinity to one another, right? Is there a way or an outlet for that or a way to ground the water? If we were to use this as a tool and to apply it, you say that there's too much. I'm hearing you say that there's too much water, too much emotion. So how do you, how can I learn from this and then maybe incorporate the chemistry of water into earth and to utilize that as a tool? This is the question. This is the quest. Taurus, excuse me, Pisces, this is Taurus here. Pisces, the water, would be in the middle of two earth signs, two earth signs. Capricorn here, earth signs. Taurus here, another earth sign. The middle of Capricorn and Taurus, we find Pisces. Ooh, that's interesting. Now we start getting into geometry a little bit here. From Capricorn to Taurus, 120 degrees, midpoint. Divide 120 in half, we get 60. You get a midpoint there. You see that? Notice how Capricorn, let's transmute. Let's transmute. Maybe not transmute, maybe alchemize, perhaps. Maybe we can alchemize too much water. How do we add some earth? What I'm trying to say is notice how Capricorn is an earth sign. And if we look at the time of the year that Capricorn is, it goes in the northern latitude. Chilly, cold, reflective. One way to ground this water energetic is to ground through contemplation, through, right? If we look at some of the character traits and natures of Capricorn, slowing down and acknowledging the importance of taking time and being patient is a way to ground some of that water. And Taurus is the other earth sign that flips Pisces in half. Capricorn one side, the Earth, the closest Earth sign prior to Pisces, and the closest Earth sign after Pisces is Taurus. Grounding through recognizing and acknowledging value. That's not it. We also have another outlet over here, Virgo, which is in direct relationship to Pisces. This might be the more direct route, perhaps. This might be the more direct route. If we were to look at the character traits of Virgo, we would find routine, finding a routine. It's one of the most direct routes for all of that water. Routine and health. Welcome in if you just got here. Zodiac signs in the comments. So that's what I would say. Righteousness. Welcome in. Hope your day is going well. Excuse me. Hope your day is going well. With Libra? Good question. Let's look at Libra. Thank you so much for that comment. Libra's here. Libra is always after the discernment traits of Virgo. The refinement would be Virgo, which is another outlet for that water. Another one. Libra's here. Before Libra is discerning, Virgo. After Libra is transformative Scorpio. If we were to look at Libra, not for nothing and for something at the same time, and the relationship it plays to Pisces, we would notice that it creates an aspect that points to potential themes surrounding one's health, balancing the emotional world in terms of psychological well-being. Do we fit with it, right? Do you sit on the ideas that come about through the feeling to want to exercise or engage in practices that can improve the health? Pisces, Libra, and finding balance there. With the sun in Pisces and the moon in Aries, Aries is more active. It's the engaging in relationships and intimate bonds and personal relationships and engagement where others drive us, being motivated through others, if you will. Libra to Pisces, Libra to Aries. Welcome in. Thank you for the like and the subscriptions. Appreciate you. Hello. Pisces Sun, happy birthday to you. We're here now. And happy birthday and congratulations of a potential graduation of Saturn through Pisces. You did it. It's not over. Shifts now. Your energy shifts towards value. And what are you? And you're a Pisces rising too? Wow. So now it's time to potentially You might recognize the seriousness in the area of finances and your worth. Original woman, you could possibly recognize this, which is not anything new. And I say that because symbolically, energetically, Saturn is already in Aries in 2025, June, July, August. Then it retrograded back into Pisces, almost like as if it were a person, it would say um, communicating an energy or a frequency of last little bit of patience, lessons in patience, perhaps. As Pisces rising Saturn in Aries, you might have noticed this over the past day or so. Yesterday, when it might have started, you might have been sparked potentially. Maybe some behaviors that you're working on improving with yourself, possibly. Yeah, I got to stay on my routine, on my discipline of acknowledging myself and knowing that I'm worth it. There, Saturn in the second house. Now, the thumbnail that I created was sit with it, Pisces, or take action, Aries, or possibly looking at that process from sitting with it to taking action, sitting with it long enough to create this peace within the self and comfort with the regulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, possibly. Just a perspective, consult your primary care physician. I would be sitting with it first. Someone takes an action that you dislike. Do you respond, hey, why do you abruptly? Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, like that. Can you please, you're sitting on my notebook, not for sitting. Please get off of that. So it goes into possibly knowing your worth through the establishing, the maintaining boundaries that you've learned over the course of the past 2.5 years. Maybe, possibly. So the process of sitting with it, Pisces, checking on the inner dynamic, the inner conversation, the emotion, the feeling. And when you're ready, taking action. In addition to that, we can also see another layer of that when we look at the planet that rules Pisces, Neptune. Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. And not for nothing, it's almost, or another way in which to interpret it is a possibility and another layer or testimony is what I call it, possible testimony that points to the emphasizing and the conscious awareness of the importance of valuing oneself and being inspired and encouraged, possibly. Before acting on anything meaningful, we want to act in a meaningful way. And before we do that, we pause and then we take action. Name it and identify it, and then step with a bold foot forward. Welcome in. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions. Do you sit with it, or do you take action, or do you sit with it first and then take action? Do you pause, sit, then act? Not 10 steps, one step, one bold, airy, bold, confident step. I'm doing this. This is pretty interesting. Welcome in. Question: how would that impact a Libra, Mars, Saturn, and Pluto? All that in Libra? Well, it'd be a Saturn opposition. It could potentially, it could be interpreted as an energy of potential need to reestablish and or maintain boundaries. Libra is about balancing and fairness. What I'm really doing is I'm interpreting Pisces, sun, of the sun in Pisces, and the moon in Aries, and freestyling a little bit. You must be an Aquarius. I don't know about those studies. I'm not sure. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Aquarius, what comes to mind are three zodiacal signs. When you speak of Aquarius having the highest IQ, I think of, well, I don't think of what comes across my screen, my three screens are the zodiac sign Aquarius, the zodiac sign Gemini, and the zodiac sign Libra, as denoted by these colors here. Some see turquoise, some see blue, whatever you see. These are the element of air, which points to, it can be interpreted as intellectual. So when you say IQ, highest IQ for Aquarius, maybe, maybe not. But per the rule of element, the element table in astrology, we do have the intellectual signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Libra's in the 11th? Interesting. So I assume that you're a Sagittarius rising. Welcome in. Zodiac signs on the commento, incorporating the transits, specifically the lights, the sun in Pisces, the moon in Aries, and you. If and in that you are an Aquarius, the sun in Pisces points to your value, your worth. So I'm not sure about the highest IQ, but I would like to acknowledge your worth there. Very late Scorpio. So Libra is part 11th part 12. Even if it's a little part, still part. Because if you're a Scorpio rising, then it means that Scorpio straddles this line, if you will. I see what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying. And Pisces highlights themes surrounding home, home life, family life, and it bleeds into or blends into love life and inner child. The fourth house and the fifth house, home, family, inner child themes, and through creativity, through music. I don't know if you've noticed, maybe there's been a reactivation of a want to hear music and the utilization of music as a tool for well-being and joy. You had a reading for me a while back. Welcome back. Housing is also going back and looking back at the past a little bit too. Notice that? Notice how Scorpio rising has gone back into the past a little bit, your childhood, even maybe back to when you were two, three, maybe. Now that relates to now in your current situation, familial experiences with the family. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Zodiac signs in the comments. Not only is the sun in Pisces, Venus and Mercury are there as well. This means so it shines a light, the sun, becoming aware of the importance of being relatable and compassionate in their communication. Not for nothing. And being honesty with self, as Pisces is a sign that can be interpreted that points to the inner world. Do you sit with it or do you take action? Or do you do a combination of both? Automatically, with the sun in Pisces, right? It creates this relationship with Virgo, which I say is right across the street. Now, depending on where you have this axis, will point to potential areas where themes will arise. and you experience things according to this inner world and health perspectives and routines. Another axis with the moon in Aries is the Aries Libra axis. Motivation, initiatory action, and balancing that action. So finding balance, ways in which to balance that step after one sits with it. As we sit with it, Pisces, Virgo is what works well with Pisces. As we sit with it, we use discernment, Virgo. As we take the steps and the action and the courage, we do it with balance and poise. So this is the dynamic. What are some other zodiac signs that we have in here? Have a good day. Next, Capricorn Sun. Here, after Capricorn is Aquarius. After Aquarius is Pisces, where the sun is currently situated. One, two, three. Three signs away. 30, 60 degrees, approximately. 60 degrees is naturally a first house to third house aspect. From this point, this line here, to this line here is 60 degrees, 30 degrees, 60 degrees. 60-degree aspect we can see between planets, and we can also see them between or with signs. That's the symbolism. The potential energy or frequency is the mindset. One layer. The thinking processes, the incorporation of what you possibly have been working on the past 2 years with discipline and the establishing of boundaries through speaking up a little more. Have you noticed this? This month highlights this month essentially is like the internship of the past 2.5 years. Potentially. That's one layer. Just looking at Capricorn, the relationship between Capricorn and Pisces. Another layer, we can look at Pisces, Taurus here, and its relationship with Pisces. Also, another 60-degree relationship between signs from Pisces to Aries, 30 degrees, from Aries to Taurus, another 30 degrees, 30 and 30 is 60. It's like from the first house to the third house, from this line to this line is 30, to this line is 60 degrees, which encompasses the self and how the self communicates to others. This communication is derived from and through and by friends. So you may notice this month, the next 29, 28 days, acquaintances. Oh, wow, I was just thinking about you. I was just talking about you. Hey, maybe we should get together and collaborate and share. Maybe you've noticed a pull to want to communicate and acquaint yourself with familiar associates, possibly. Possibly. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments, and the subscriptions. Capricorn Sun, another Capricorn Sun. Also here. Notice Sun in Pisces. Do I sit with it? Aries. Do I take action with it? This is the energy right now. And there's also layers of cycles that kind of show themselves. They show up, if you will. Overlapping layers, if you will. Cycles that overlap one another. What I'm trying to say is that Saturn just recently left Pisces and is in Aries now. The sun is now going through Pisces, so it kind of shines a light on all that Saturn just went through. That's why I said it's like an internship program these next 29 days. Hey, how did you learn your lesson? Did we learn our lesson? And right now, energetically, the frequency with the moon in Aries could potentially be, are you ready to take action? It's a soft asking. It's the universe potentially asking, hey, are you ready to you want to take a step? I got you. Come on. Come on. You can do this. We're on your side. Get in here. Right? Notice how Capricorn is ruled by a planet. Each one of these zodiacal signs is ruled by a planet. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. Saturn is now in Aries. What does this mean? It means that there's a connection between Capricorn and Aries. The sign of structure is now being looked at through the lens, symbolically, through the lens of taking action with structure, taking action with discipline, being courageous when it comes to being disciplined as well. Notice that. Capricorns, notice that you're so much like there's a potential that you take on these energies of the leader, being bold. That's how you see it. The bird leaving the nest. Interesting. It's interesting that you say the nest because from Capricorn to Aries is similar to the mathematical relationship that the first house is and or the rising sign is to the fourth house cut. This is the rising sign. The arrow is pointing to the zodiac sign that's rising. And then this is the fourth house cut. And we can add mathematically. This is math here. This is not anything other than math for a moment. Let's be mathematical. From here, this line to this line, 30. This line to this line, another 30, which is 60. From this line to this line is 90 degrees. What does this mean? We have a mathematical relationship that can be interpreted as it's a symbol that can be interpreted as growth and structure With structure, there's growth. What are we structuring? We're structuring discipline, Capricorn. We're structuring time, Capricorn, with leadership, with courage. And there's a tension there, there's a natural tension there, symbolically, energetically. But it's not a tension to knock you down. It's a tension to grow through and push through. Notice how being knocked down when working on becoming a champion, you structure what it is that you think that you have to qualify or quantify yourself in areas and experiences of life. But sometimes you lose, sometimes you don't win, you're not the champion, or you don't have enough courage. And that's the growth process. Notice that? Notice that. Be encouraged, is what my mother said. Be encouraged, even though we could add another side to that. Be encouraged, although there are moments where we're challenged. There are moments where our emotions get the best of us. There are moments where we may not be balanced. Not for nothing and for something. Welcome in. Peace and wellness. Perfect timing. Um, I'm gonna take a break. I appreciate all of you for being here. Subscribe, follow, and I'll see you in the next video.